Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about my family vacations. Before we get started, these vacations were so fun and I had a blast hanging out with my family. And from my experiences, family vacations are a great way to bond with your family, unless it's when you're going to Disney World. But we will talk about that in a minute. Also, I would like to mention that the first two stories were with my mom's sister and her family, and the last one was with just me, my mom, dad, and sister, and they will all look like this. I will show you who everyone else will look like when we start the first story right now. Our first story starts us off going to Galveston, Texas, where we did a lot of swimming, and even though I don't remember much because I was probably about 6 years old, so I don't remember much from that vacation, but I did save some of the memories that keep me awake at night. The worst memory I have from that trip was when I sat on the beach and trying to find my parents, who I think went to go find a bathroom for my sister. And me being the 6-year-old I started yelling at the top of my lungs to try to find them. You may think my parents left me alone, but they left me with my uncle, and he sat there and watched as I yelled for my parents. The funny part is I didn't even know my uncle was behind me and probably thought I had been stung by a jellyfish. When I did realize he was there, I was so embarrassed because I had been yelling for about 10 minutes and probably had child services on the way. The second story is about the time I went to Disney World with my family. It was probably my least favorite vacation ever, but I got some good stories out of it. The funniest part about the trip was when we went to, I guess, like a thing where you're able to meet Mickey Mouse. I was not too thrilled about going, but I went because my cousins are massive fans of all things Disney. So I went because I didn't want them to get mad or try to guilt me into anything later. When we got there, we all went into a room that Mickey was in. We waited for a couple of minutes until he walked into the room. Immediately him and his quote-unquote assistant came into the room to show us the magic trick we had gone there for. He had gave her a few very large cards, kept a couple, and said, "Don't let me see them," and went on with his trick. About a minute later he asked for the cards back, and she said no. He started to get angry and began to show it visibly. Mickey got so mad that he threw the cards he had onto the ground and was probably about to get violent. Eventually he got escorted out by his assistant and we left. The best part about it was after all it was said and done, he got a complaint by my aunt and we were later informed he was fired. Another story from that trip was whenever we were on the plane, my aunt, who just like her daughters, is such a massive Disney fan that she said,
"When you see the castle, you'll cry."
When we got there, nobody really cared, and I actually thought the castle was smaller than I expected. That kind of made me laugh and is kind of the running joke in the family. Our last story is from the most recent trip I went on, and it was to the Bahamas. This was probably my most favorite vacation I've been on and is definitely the most fun. We got to plan our days as we wanted and were able to do many things we thought we wouldn't be able to, like ride the Rapids River, and I'll tell you why later. We were also able to have fun without having to be bossed around by our cousins and their parents. Don't get me wrong, I love them, but they can be mean to get what they want. With this newly earned freedom, we could enjoy this vacation as we wanted. With that in mind, the first thing we did was go to the beach, which was a blast. We then went to the water park at the Atlantis Resort, which is also the place we stayed. The next day we did the same thing, but instead of just swimming, I bought a snorkel and was able to snorkel at the beach, which was so fun. Before we went on vacation, we bought a camera which we realized was waterproof, and I was able to take pictures underwater. We even rode the Rapids River that somebody where we're from told us not to ride because she almost drowned on it. The third full day we were there, we all went into the main downtown area to shop and eat. We were waiting outside of a Mexican food restaurant because that is where we were going to eat lunch because my dad has gout, which is extreme pain and swelling in his knee, which can be caused by, you guessed it, seafood. So we avoided places that sold that. So back to waiting outside the restaurant. One of the people from the local restaurants was outside trying to get people to go into his restaurant. He was purposely misleading people by saying that they didn't open for another hour, and when we told him what they told us, the man said They said that in Bahamian time, trying to throw us off. He even said, "You come onto my island to eat Mexican food," and acted very, very angry. We kept waiting and were actually correct in what time they opened. Overall, we had a good meal and the guy was still there when we left. Those were the vacations I have been on. They were extremely fun and brought our family so much closer together. If you ever have a chance to go on a vacation with your family, you should take the opportunity. You will get to know your family and may even learn some things you never knew about them. Overall, vacations are a must even if you don't want to go with family. Giving yourself a good chance to relax and reflect may be what you need to do better in whatever it is you're doing. You should take that advice because if I hadn't, then I would have probably stopped wanting to animate a while ago. I have never done an end card before, so I don't know what to talk about, so yeah. In that case, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.